Hello, hello, good morning. It is Nemi Batstone here with Nemi's Crafty Cafe. I am in my crafting studio located in Cook Street, Manitoba, in the heart of Canada. And I'm just 20 minutes northeast of Winnipeg. So thank you for joining me today. It's a sunny, beautiful day, I hope today. Not like our weekend, but you know, storms come and go. I'm gonna make sure I'm properly set up here. My chair is a little low for some reason. And I'm gonna drop you down a bit more because we're gonna do a bit of coloring and go a little messy today. So I gotta make sure I have everything, and I'm gonna refresh my screen here so that I can see you. So if you're there, give me a thumbs up or say hello. Let me know where you're from. How's the weather where you are? I know we always talk about the weather because it's always crazy, and Facebook has still not fixed the comment thing. So if I miss comments, I always go back and scroll and try and comment, and usually I know which ones were during the Facebook Live and others which are not. So I do apologize if I miss one here and there. It's just because I'm trying to figure out who said what when. Okay, so I am actually on time, which is a shocker, or a minute earlier. And but we're gonna get started because it's gonna take a little longer to get things going. We are working with the product of the week, which is Flowers Fair. So this is not a bundle. It is just a ordinary stamp set, but a good one. Now, this one I won. I won this stamp set, actually. Let me just double check here. And it's currently, it's a $32 stamp set, which I like to consider a background stamp set because it can be a feature, but at the same time, it's kind of like fills the whole page. I mean, it's one big, huge stamp, and it literally takes up an entire page. So like here's mine right here. I stuck it on a mat, and it literally is almost 5 inches wide here. And it is, oh, I don't know. I think we measured it at 5.5 yesterday tall. So it's quite large. Good morning, Kathy. How are you? Thanks for joining me. So we're going to create, and it's Technique Tuesday or Tips Tuesday today. So I'm going to show you a technique I like to do, and I felt like watercoloring. So today we're going to make a mess. So you definitely need some watercolored paper. Now Stampin' Up! Sells watercolored paper in sheets of 5x7, but I'm not a personal fan of it. I know that's terrible, right? I can't believe I just said that out loud, but and publicly. Where is it? I had a sample sitting here, and then what am I going to do with it? The only reason I don't like it is because it's grainy, and I like more of a flat watercolor sheet. Like, well, I like things anyway more flat unless I embossed it. And for some reason now I can't find it. It was here, and so what did I do with it? I probably put it someplace where I could easily pull it, and now I can't find it. So to show you, but I prefer more of a flat matte, and it's not exactly purely white. So that's another thing that I don't like. And so I just use watercolor paper that, actually the one I use is Vicky Boutin's watercolor paper because I have so much of it. But you can use any watercolor paper you like. And it's thicker, a lot thicker. Feels almost like cardboard in a way, kind of like the cardboard sleeves our designer series paper comes in. So it's got a lot of thickness because if you wet it a lot, then that's what you want to look for, right? You want it to be able to not tear the paper or shred, I guess, is more of the word. So the first thing we're going to do with this stamp set is we're going to emboss it. And then I'll show you my card in a bit, but we'll get to that stage because I think I'm going to tweak it a bit. So I'm just going to emboss it, and I'm using my embossing buddy because there could be oils on my hands, who knows. And we want to make sure the embossing powder will stick where it wants to stick. Now, my piece is a 6x6, so I always like to go a little bit bigger, especially when I'm doing watercoloring, because you want to be able to let that water flow And then as well, you don't want it perfect. It's better to go bigger and then trim down. So I'm using my Misty this time. Yesterday I used my Stampin' Positioner, but today I'm going to use my Misty because I need to make sure I've got lots of space, and I like to double stamp. So we're going to use a Versamark, so it doesn't really fit in the screen. So I've got my stamp right here, and I'm going to just ink it all up. And because it's Versamark and I can't see whether I got everything, this is why I like to do it twice. Plus, sometimes I miss and then I screw up. So there we go. So I'm going to drop this in place. So you just position it where you'd like. And I like this one because it's really big, and it's got a corner here where I can slide into. The Stamparatus, the Stampin' Up! One, is a lot smaller and fits more of a, it does fit a 6x6, but I prefer something a little larger just because then I know I have lots of space. Okay, so I'm just going to ink that up again and pray that I don't end up getting double like I did yesterday. That was so funny. So, you know, adding more ink isn't always a great way when you double stamp, right? So with that black yesterday with Memento and the hybrid, I didn't need to re-ink it. I just needed to lay it back down again so all the other ink stuck. So that was a pretty, you know, big trick. Now I have that little piece there. Let's see if I can pick that up. For some reason there we go. Hopefully that doesn't do anything and cause my my powder to stick there. Okay, I think I did pretty good. It's hard to tell. So I'm gonna just move this out of the way. And then I'm gonna bring in my powder. We have time because the nice thing about Versamark is it stays wet. So you don't have to rush. Not like our stamp pads. They don't stay wet. Good morning, Irene. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now we're just gonna throw on that powder. Looks like I need to refill my bin here. And then we're gonna add and keep going here. So it's got quite a bit of a surface. So again, this is a 6x6. So we're just adding the powder as we go along. Okay. Then I'll just drop that there. And then add there. And we're just gonna push, 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 tweak, tweak, tweak. And I'm just making sure I get all that powder on there. Ta-da! Let's take a quick look and see where maybe, it's such a big design, it's hard to see where I might have missed. Okay, and then we're gonna tap it a couple times, just like so. And then we get that look. And it looks like it's pretty good. It looks like my embossing buddy did its job. I don't see a lot of loose powder sitting in places I don't want it to be. So that's a good thing. So I'm just gonna tap there. It looks a little thick up there and a little thick here, but I think we're okay. So there we go. We have it done. Okay, I'm gonna put my powder away so I don't get it all over the place. And then I'm gonna turn on my heat tool. Now, your heat tool, depending on your surface. So I'm using a Stampin' Up's glass mat. So it is designed to withstand the heat. So I don't have to hold it. And I can just leave it flat and just apply my heat and watch it turn to a bright gold. It's so pretty when it does that. I'll bring it up closer so you can see it start to shimmer. Like so. And then with a big stamp like this, the one thing you gotta watch for is making sure you don't miss a spot. So I like to just go in rows and make sure that I got everything. Because if you start going all over the place like this, then you kind of you will lose track of where you forgot to add heat and melt that powder. Okay. And it's going. Oh, there's a funny spot there in the middle, right there. Something weird going on. It didn't stick very good there. Okay, we're almost done. Interesting, right there. Looks like the powder fell off. But that's okay because we're gonna add so much ink that you're not even gonna notice. Okay, I think I got it all, except for that one spot. Now I could put this back in my stamp thing. Yeah, it looks like the powder fell off. But I'm not gonna worry about it because we'll probably just end up covering it with the sentiment anyway. Good day, Cindy. Thanks for joining. It's a nice, bright, sunshiny day. Isn't that a song? Okay, so we're going to do some watercoloring and we're going to go a little crazy like this. So I decided, because it's spring, to pull out all the brights. So we have a whole collection of 10 colors that flows in our brights collection. And don't ask me what my symbols are because I forget already. But anyways, I wanted to double check, and I do have. So what I like to do is every time a new catalog comes out, is I always like to mark everything that I know I have. And here, I guess I was tracking refills because I did the same thing up there. And I finally do have the Balmy Blue. And then, so I want to make sure I have everything. But you could also use a sheet, which I found and I shared with my team. So they should have that refill, that tracker, color tracker sheet. So I chose to think of rainbow colors. So I pulled out, so let's start with red. So I pulled out my Poppy Parade, and so we're going to use reinkers. Isn't that the flower yesterday that didn't stamp well? Yes, the reason it didn't stamp well yesterday, I said it in the beginning, Irene, but I don't think you were here, is because I put too much ink. What I had to do was just leave it as is, put it back down, and let all the ink come off. So I had way too much ink on it. So that is what was happening. And I mentioned that in my video yesterday, that I had way too much ink, which is what was causing it to double. So lesson learned, and take it to heart. So for red, I've got Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight. I might use Melon Mambo. Roy G. Green, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green. And for blue, I think I chose not to pull out the blue. We'll use it as a base. So here instead, I use the blue for my base. And then I did add in some Berry Burst. So I don't know if we'll be able to use all these colors, but I'll try. So what I did do, though, was go a little crazy and kind of spread it all over the place because I didn't want any white. And I wanted to do it more like blending, but I also didn't want to do blending that faded all the way through. So I'm going to see whether or not I like it with leaving the white space and trying to be a little more diligent, but I really just wanted a messy color palette. And that's what I ended up with. Let me know if you think that's messy enough or if you think it's too busy, but I just wanted color everywhere. That was my goal. And watercoloring is literally a great way to get color everywhere, right? So, but to shine up the green with the leaves, I think I kind of I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So how did I do this trick? Okay, maybe I will have to, I don't want to pull you back because I want you to be able to see this. So you're going to need a bowl of water. You're going to need some paint brushes. I like to use our water painters because they come in 3 different sizes. So I'll show you here. There's a fine tip one, which I think we may use. And then our lids just fit on the ends. And then there's the medium size. And again, this one fits. And then you have your wide brush, which fits here on the end. So there's little nubbies in there so you don't lose them. Or you could just take them off and just leave them off to the side. Mine do tend to fall off. But these are the 3 that we actually have. And so I'm going to turn on the light because it seems like there's too much shadow. I thought it was bright enough, but I don't think it is. So let's give ourselves more light. Okay, well, that didn't really change much. Good morning, Debbie. Thanks for joining me today. Okay, and then I chose to use re-inkers instead of ink pads because then I don't have to blotch within the ink pad. So instead, we're going to blotch onto our glass mat. If you do not have a glass mat, you can use a plate because they are all watercolored paints. So they're just loaded with water. That's fine. But you want something that's, or if you're fine with your dining table or whichever, that's really up to you. Or just as long as you can just clean it all up after. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to start with my red. I'll start with these 3 colors and then we'll see where we go from there. So I'm going to add some red ink and I'm going to try and make sure so just using a drop, literally a drop. So re-inkers are not only good for re-inking your ink pad, but they're also good for coloring with. So, and then yellow. So I'll put yellow over here. Okay, so then that's 3. So I'm still again debating. Now I'm going to take my spray. So I just got a spray bottle here. And then I'm going to spray right on top. So see how those go? The more water you add, the more it gets diluted and spreads, which is what I like. Now I'm going to take my watercolored paper and I'm going to take my wide brush and I'm literally going to I'm going to add water here so that my my watercolored paper is wet and helps dilute, and I'm not putting ink on dry paper. So I'm just brushing it. So now it's nice and wet. So you got the heat resist here because the gold we have heat embossed, so it's keeping it there. So now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to grab some of that red. Now you can go all the way in the middle and go super dark. You can go light or lighter. And let's see where we're at. So then I'm going to add that here all over the flower. I'm not looking for perfection. So see that? You could wipe that off if you don't like it, but I don't mind if it's splatter everywhere. So if I want it a little darker, I can pick up some from the middle and then add. And look how that water just goes. Okay. Now, if you want to clean your brush, obviously you need paper towel beside you because if it's too wet, then you can just take your paper towel and you're like, oh, it's way too wet. The color is spreading too much, let's say. Then you can take a paper towel and just dab it and pick up some of that color if you like. I mean, that's really up to you. I don't care because I want lots of color and lots of water. And then, so maybe I'll do this flower down here. And again, I'm not really caring if it goes out of the lines because that's not my intent to worry. And then maybe I'll do a blend here. Okay. Okay, so that's one color, and I'm just going to clean my brush. And then I'm going to go into the orange. Oh, look, see my colors are all blending now? Which is kind of cool. Orange, right? Yeah, so I'm going to add orange here so I get the red and orange together. Okay, so again, I'm not too concerned if I'm going outside my lines, and then maybe I'll do a big orange one up here. So in my original one, I like literally just put color wherever. And maybe I'll do one over here. How many colors do I have? I have 3 more. I have 2 more. So maybe I'll do this little one. I don't know. Why not? Okay, let's start with that. And then I'm going to grab some yellow, and maybe do a middle one over here. Now remember, there's lots of water on my cardstock as well, so not too concerned. Okay, maybe add a little dark up there. Kind of like it when there's little spots of darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And then this one doesn't look very red. It looks more pink. So I'll add more color in there. As it dries, it goes to a lighter color. So all you do is just keep adding till you're happy with it. Literally. It's just fun painting. Like, this is great when you just want to do something that's just, you know, calm and mind-numbing per se. And when you have big stamps too, what's really nice is you can use these on scrapbook pages. So you can get 12 by 12 colored watercolor paper and just stamp away and add that to your scrapbook page. Okay, and I'm gonna pick up a little dark, add that in wherever. I don't know why I put my water to my left when I'm right-handed. Okay, let's add in a couple more other colors. So here's Melon Mambo. Oops, too many dots. And let's add in some Berry Burst. Let's see where we're at. Okay, then we're gonna spritz it. Like I said, spritz, spritz. Makes such a mess, but I love it. Look how messy my mat is here. My glass mat. But it's a fun messy. So this is a pretty bold pink color. So let's see what we think over here first. Oh yeah, look how bold that is. Beautiful. If we want it a little lighter, we'll just go in the lighter. Now it is going to go a little lighter. Remember that. So like I said, I don't really care if I'm going outside my lines. It's not about perfection. It's just about adding that splash of color. So it's watercolored, so it's okay. Maybe this one over here. I guess I should do one of the big ones. I'll do this big one. Oh yeah, look at that Melon Mambo. It's such a deep, rich color of pink. Although it's looking a little red here. It's looking brighter than our Poppy Parade, to be honest. Maybe I have too much color. Let's dilute it. So I'm just adding water to get rid of the color. Then I'm going to take my paper towel, go like that, and now look, it's not as bright anymore. So it was dark, now it's light. So here's where we're at so far. Okay, so now let's grab some pink or the deep berry burst. So I guess more of the violet in the Roy G. Biv rainbow category. And let's do one here. Okay. And I can take my fine paintbrush and I can go in and do some line work if I wanted to. See, it's so fine. I probably should be wearing my glasses. Just so I can see more. So I could use this because it's so fine. And then add in some really lines in there if I wanted to. I'm going to make this one a really dark flower. So I'm going to pick up that dark in the middle and make this one darker. You might not even see it actually because we still have to put our sentiment on here. So we'll have to see where our sentiment goes. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty, right? So we still got tons of flowers everywhere. So we just keep going and add color wherever we want. So maybe I'll put an orange one here. Right? And then, so this one was lighter and it was orange. Well, it was the orange with the red, remember? So we'll add a little more color into it. Like so. And let's see. We could add some blue. So maybe I'll throw in some Coastal Cabana. Running out of palette space. Well, I'm not running out of palette space. I'm just running out of palette space for you to be able to see. And I just got a bunch of it all over my hand. So no shocker there. So let's add water. And let's add a couple blue flowers and see what that does. Give us a nice big rainbow effect here. I'm going to go in with light and pull that a bit, you know. And then go like that. I have a little too much water, so I'm just going to dab it like so. And then there. So now let's add our green. Look at our palette. So I'm going to show you something with that after. Don't just clean that up. Can you see my green? Okay, you can. So I'm going to add green now. So I'm going to grab my smaller brush just in case. Just in case I go all over the place here. Because there's lots of small. We're going to add our green in here. Oh, there's a little flower there. And throw that in wherever. I don't know if that's a flower or not, but I just made it into a leaf. And add that in. Yeah, I should have put where's my glasses? I should have put my glasses on. I'm wearing my contacts right now, so I'm like, oh. I'm like, now I need to, it's hilarious. I can wear contacts, but then I still have to use glasses because I need progressives. So then if I want to see things up close, I have to throw on these reading glasses. Okay, so we're just adding green wherever there's a leaf. You could change your color up if you like. Use multiple different colors. I'm just sticking to the one. But you could also intensify it by adding more. Okay, now there's two ways you can dry this. Actually, I guess three. One of the ways is to just let it sit overnight or hours for a few hours and then come back and finish it up. The other option is you can take your heat tool to it and dry up all that water. And then what's nice about using your heat tool is it will re-shine all that gold. But you don't want to keep your heat tool sitting in the same spot all the time, because then it will eventually, if you reheat the gold embossing powder too much, it will eventually just melt away. So you have to be careful with that. So you want to make sure you don't keep your heat tool in one spot. The other way is to take a paper towel and lay it on top and just dab it and like press on it. And then that will also absorb all the water and help it dry a lot quicker. Okay. There we go. I missed a ton of leaves, eh? Tons of leaves. Lots down here. Some here. So many. Where else? Miss any other ones? Did I miss any other ones? Let me know in the comments. There we go. Got a few little itty bitty ones here. So I like to use the fine tip one because then I can get all those little tiny ones. Yeah. And then the more paint you add, like layering, the darker it'll get and the lot more, I guess, artistic look is what you'll get. Okay, I think that's pretty darn good. So I got another clean one. So like I said, you could just take this and then you just go like this and press. And you can see, like, don't rub because then you'll just spread all your water everywhere. And you can see how it's leaking through because that's where it was really wet. And then just lift up. And then you get this water effect. So here was, oops, doesn't matter. As long as I'm getting it all over my hand. Here was my original, right? I just kind of watered everywhere. Here we were a little more specific. So you almost have like this nice artisan water look. And then what you can do is wherever you want to add more depth, you can. Let's just say I want to add more there. Where else? Maybe I want this. I think that's this color. Let's just double check. I think so, yeah. Or is this one red? And maybe you want it to be a little more splattered, kind of like that one, throughout, rather than perfect. Then again, I'm just gonna blot that a bit to see what that looks like. I could probably do a little more on the blue here, so we have more dark showing. And then again, blot it a bit. And there we have it. I don't think I missed anywhere, but for the most part, I got most of it. See a couple of spots here with the green that I missed. Just the tips. Maybe somewhere over here. And I could add some more defining lines in this big one because it's really big. Like so, and maybe a few down here. I'm just holding it up so you can see it more. Any questions? What do you think so far? Would love to hear your comments. So water painting, it can be just a lot of fun. Oh, I missed one. I know there's a delay in comments, so no fret. There. So again, thank you, Irene. Thanks for saying it's nice. So now, to make sure it's really dry, I'm going to take this, my heat tool, and I'm just going to run over it. And what's going to do, and I'm going to keep my heat tool moving. So you see it's vibrating quite a bit because I want to keep that tool moving. And it's going to brighten up our gold again. I don't want too much. Now I know it's curling, so you can turn it. And then I'm just going to add some heat here on the back side so that my paper will go back to normal because it's curling and it'll cut. There, see? So it's flatter again. And that always helps. Now, you know you're dry when you can rub your finger all over and then none of the ink goes everywhere. And there's ink all over my fingers. Okay, now, don't wreck that. Are the center of the small flowers done? No, I didn't. I just left them plain. So you can go in there with any color you want. You know what? I'm going to show you something. Let me see if I have it. Do I have it near me? I'm going to go in with, I'll show you this time. Now, you can mix your media. So I'll show you since Irene asked the question. I'm going to grab a dark brown. So this is, where's my glasses? This is SU100. So it's like a really dark brown beyond early espresso. And you can literally go in with your blending pen and color in the centers with your marker. You can even use watercolored pencils, whichever you like. Then it adds that other color in there. Man. Okay. If you wanted to. So there, I added a little more dark. Did I miss one, Irene? I think, maybe. Missed a couple. Missed one down here. Or I put it in the wrong spot. I don't know. Looks like I put it in the wrong spot because I'm blind. Okay, I think I got all of them, I think. So that is another option. So you mix your media as much as you want. There you go. Now this is a gorgeous mess. You know why? So I'm going to take basic white. No, not as nice, but oops, that was thick basic white. My apologies. I have to find a piece of basic white. Here we go. Nope, that's still thick. Where did it all go? I had a whole pile here. I had a whole pile of basic white because I needed it yesterday to do my cards. Okay, so I have a piece. I'm going to cut it in half so that it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We don't waste ink. So you see this beautiful mess here that has come in. I'm just going to spritz it with a bit more water. And now you're going to take, I'm going to move you up a bit so you can see this. So now I'm going to take, make sure my camera doesn't move, a piece of basic white, and I'm literally going to just dip it in there where I think I can get all of it. Okay, and then you're going to get this gorgeous collage. I'm going to leave that one like that. And I'm going to take the other one and roll it in and just pick up that ink wherever I can. Because now it's going to create a fun little page of color. Now this is basic white, so it's getting really flimsy. And now we can get some really cool pattern paper that you can then use to cut out flowers with. It's getting dry, so I'm going to wet it some more. And then make some really cool images or leave it as a background. So I'm going to do my edges like this, although I may end up cutting it. And then now we have 2 sheets of paper that now need to dry. So I'm going to put that aside somewhere to dry. Whee! Okay, I just moved it to my other table. And I still have some more here. So you can keep going and add more to any paper you have. But I'm going to stop here because I need to keep us going. So now I'm just going to take whatever's left. And I'm just going to wipe it with paper towel because I'm using a glass mat. That's what's great about these. I'm like a mess all around. And just clean that all up. Now we're done. Okay, so we're done. Done like dinner. And then I'm just going to make sure we're all good here. And we should be because I use the heat tool. Yep, no smears. And now we're just going to cut it down. So, I know that edge is not straight. And I kind of want to keep the majority of my flowers on the bottom. So I'm going to chop off the top of this one. I know, right? So we'll see. Okay, so we need to be at least 4 inches or 5, whatever you want, because it's going on the card, or 3 3/4. Like, now this is where you decide what size you want it to be. And I'm going to slide this over a bit. So I'm right at the edge of that flower. I probably will trim it a bit more. I'm going to go another 1/4, 1/8 of an inch or something. Now you want to always make sure your first cut is flush, otherwise your card will go crooked. Okay, so we did trim that. So now we have our top and our bottom, or side. And now we want to decide. I think I'm going to go... So here I went 5 1/4, and I think I'm going to stick to that because I want the base to actually be seen. So I'm going to go here. So I'm going to go 5 1/4, and we're going to lose some of that bottom. There we go. And I can't really reuse this because there's not really anything exciting going on there. And then we're going to go 4 inches wide. So we're going to lose quite a bit off this side. Or if you don't want to, you could trim off the other side. Let's see how much we're losing. So we're losing all of this. So I think I'll go to this side. And I'm going to trim off another 1/8. And about there. because I don't want to lose too much of these flowers. Okay, so now we're going to go to 4 and see where we're at. So if we're lined up at 4 inches and I come down, I'm cutting there. So that's how much I lost. So there it is. So there's 4 by 5 1/4. And then these are all the trimmings that we did, which then I just throw in the garbage. So there's our 4 by 5 1/4. So here, I'll show you my 2 differences. So here I just went rogue and just did whatever I felt like doing. And then here we just did more of a focus on just the flowers. So then now we need a base. And so I used Coastal Cabana, but I wonder what Azure Afternoon will look like. Let me see if I have some cut. And I think it is this one. Because I'm just wondering, oh yeah, that'll make that pop really good. So we're going to add that on there. So this is our base. So this is card base. I'm just going to make sure I got the right color. Because we're just going here off the brights. The only one we didn't use was Flirty Flamingo and Lemon Lime Twist. But I wanted to see what Azure Afternoon looks like. This one might be a little dark. I think that's Blueberry Bushel. Let me just double check. Yeah, see, it's darker. It kind of mutes it. It looks a little flat. Yeah, they're both very different, and that's why I wanted to show you both techniques. This one's kind of like this one's more Blueberry Bushel, and Blueberry Bushel falls in our regals, which are more like fall colors. So I wonder if Night of Navy, which is more of in our neutral, or we go to black, which I don't really want to do, because I just want to make it pop. Really pop. But that pops pretty good on there. And then this is Night of Navy. I don't think it really pops that much. Oh no, yeah, that is. And then we got Secret Sea. Oh, pops pretty good on Secret Sea, actually. Seems the darker you go, the better in a way. So let's try black. I have tons of, oh, the black is what really makes it go. Okay, I think we're going with black. So you could turn this into a sympathy card, birthday card, whichever you like. I'll put these card stocks back later. So now we've got black. So what I'm going to do though is, because I want to wrap ribbon, but I want to wrap, oh yeah, I can wrap around both. Okay. What am I thinking? So we're going to score it, because this one is not scored. You know, I used to score them all the time, and now I don't, because if I turn it into a fun fold, I'm screwed if that score line is in the middle. So now I just leave them. Oh, you like the Secret Sea? Yeah, that was, you know what's nice about Secret Sea? It's in between black and the blues, right? That's why it's my go-to color for everything. It's become my go-to color for everything. It's crazy. But I really like how this pops on there. So we're going to add some ribbon to this. Now, if you don't like it curled so much, you can just curl it with your hand, but it doesn't really bother me. Some people, what they like to do is they'll sandwich it between something, and then they'll just take their, you know, biggest block or a couple. Well, nowadays you can't. They'll take a big block and then lay it on top and then come back later. You know, that kind of thing. But I just wanted to share that with you. And we're going to wrap some ribbon. Oh, right. That's why. Okay, I'm going to cut this in half. And I'm going to stick this on white because I don't want to waste. Or maybe I do have, I'm going to need white anyway. So, oh, that didn't cut very well. There's something in the middle there. Oh, there's something in my track. So it did not cut. Did not cut my cardstock very well. That's not very good. Gotta clean out the, gotta clean it out. Grab our guillotine here. You You know what? I'm going to try something different. Oh, this is going to be so daring. It's going to do just a smidge. Like that. Which then means I need just a smidge off the bottom. Let's see what that does for us. And lay that on top. Okay, I'm still good. Fixed. Okay. Height-wise, we're still good? I think so. Okay, so then I picked up some ribbon. Which one is this ribbon? What's it called again? How come this one has no label? It's a retired one, but it's got white and gold in it, which is what I like. So then I'm going to grab a couple pieces of tear tape and stick that there. So then I have a spot to hold because it's pretty messy. Oh yeah, this is a tear tape I don't like. I really need to switch it. Okay, but it's also, I need to get rid of it. It doesn't want to lift. Okay, it's really pissing me off. I'm going to pull out a Stampin' Up! One. I had this issue last week. Remember? So I'm going to pull that out. I'm going to grab me a Stampin' Up! Tear tape. Because that was the no-name tear tape. And we're going to switch to Stampin' Up's tear tape. Because I'm done. I'm done fighting with piece of tape that doesn't work. Look at that. Easy peasy. So, I'm going to run this wherever we want. Maybe there. I'm just going to make sure it's straight. Should stick to the back. And then grab my ribbon scissors and choppy chop. There we go. And then grab some more tearing tape. And to just hold that end down so it doesn't go fraying on me. See, it's already fraying there. And there we have it. So now we need a label. So I'm going to take my stylish shaped dies. I like doing circles because it's just neat. And then I have this one. So let's do this one first so then we know how big of a circle it needs. And this is one of our new stamp sets that just came out. Where is it? There. And it's called Phrases and Frames. So this one is coming out on May 5th. And it's also one of the ones I'm using this summer for our techniques and templates class. So it's a retreat to go kind of thing. And so I thought I would turn it into thinking of you and then using sending prayers and heartfelt sympathy to you and your family. I thought that would be good. I like this one. This is one of my favorite stamps. So we're using that this Friday. Happiest birthday wishes. And I like this. I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted it to last longer. So there's quite a few of these that we have where it's like, I didn't forget your birthday. So, which can be used multiple times. So I'm going to use thinking of you. Since we went with the black base, I'm going to go with black. So I'm going to bring in our hybrid. And show you that yesterday's boo-boo was just me and poor technique. And I'm going to stamp that. Or not. It's just, oh, well, I just remembered. I forgot to clean these. Stamps. Like normally when you get a brand new stamp set, you kind of want to clean them up to make sure there's nothing sticking on it. And then make sure there's no film. And I didn't do that. So my bad. Let's see. Oh man, I still need cake. Give me a second here. Because honestly, I'm done. I need my glasses. I cannot see. And then I'm looking and realizing, wait a second. This circle is too small. So, or this circle looks like it's too big. So let me see if I can pull out another one. So what did I use? I used 1 3/4. So let me see what happens if I use, because it looks too big. That one's 1 1/4. Where's my 1 1/2? I had my one. Oh, there it is. Because I used my 1 1/2 for the other one. So let's grab some scrap white. Ugh. Now that I have my glasses on, I need to take them off because they're too far away. Now I'm too far away. I need to see far away, not close. This will probably work better because it's smaller. Okay, let's try that too. Yes, I think the black is nice too, Irene. Like I like both. So I didn't condition this, like I said. So that's a problem. But maybe, mind you, I've already stamped it 3-4 times now. So, oh, that's much better. Much tighter. And I can see because I put my glasses on. Okay. There. Beauty. Excellente. Now we're rolling. So that was 1 1/2, which means, so I can see here, there's way too much white space and way too big of a stitch circle. So we're going to grab our stylus shapes. Here it is. And then we're going to pick the right circle size. Because that one was way too big. And it will be this middle one here. I think. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect fit. So let's now, because we don't want to waste, we're just going to take this and run it through this. Because we're going to put it on white. So I'm just over here with my big boss, so I don't have to haul it in because it's open and ready to go right now versus my mini. My mini's all closed up and not unpacked per se. Okay, so then I just pop this out and you won't see that because it'll be our layer. And then this will go on top. Oh, much better fit. See, that's a way better fit than my, where is it? Than my sample. Oh, there it is. So here my sample have way too much gap. So this one looks way better. Okay. Whew. Now we'll just add that right here. And then this will go on top. So I'm going to add a couple dimensions on this one, I think. Like so. Oh, this is going to be thick because I'm going to add more dimensionals on the back. And then I want to pop up the other one too. So put that there. And then I wanted to Pop-Tart this too. Okay, so that's going to probably be oversized mail. Just an FYI. I just have one left, so I might as well just stick that in the middle, get rid of it, and not fret. Oh, oops. I should have checked to see where my circle is. So I might have to move one of these dimensionals, but we'll see. Okay. Because, oh no, I'm good. Okay, so we're going to go corner to corner here. One corner, oh, a little higher. One corner to another corner. Like so. Oh yeah, see that one dimensional's there, but that's fine. Then I'm going to grab some basic white, preferably thick, which I should have lots of, and I do. And we're going to fold that one in half. And we'll burnish that end. Like so. Then I'm going to add my adhesive. Okay, and put my initial in the middle. And then we're going to lay this on top. Right on top. It's going to be a little bit like a 1/16 of an inch of white showing, like barely, because I trimmed it down a bit to fix that tear in my paper when I went to cut it in half. There we go. Beautiful. So we need a bow there because it's kind of blank. I'm like, where is it? Okay. And we're gonna throw this in here and just make a quick bow on the side, like so. And then tie that. I think a knot would be kind of too small. And then pull that in. Or do I need a bigger bow? I feel like I need a bigger bow. Need a bigger bow. I like them big. So, choice really. I'm gonna go that much and I'll just cut off whatever. I got tons of ribbon, so it's not a big deal. And then I have some retired butterfly embellishments. So I'm gonna bring that in and put some on here to just, you know, make it more spring. Okay, not that much bigger, because then it's gonna be bigger than our sentiment, and I don't know if I like that. I want the bow to be the feature. I want the bow to just accent. Okay. Okay, so we'll trim this. Goodbye and goodbye. And then we'll add those flutterbys. I think I should still have some. I'll just double check. Because, yep, I got lots. I knew I didn't, because I ordered extra when I knew it was retiring. And then we're going to add a few at the top there. Probably where it looks like I made a mistake. But I really didn't. Like, oh, I kind of bled, like where I bled through. So, let's grab a few butterflies. I'll grab the big ones. Because there's so much going on here that I feel like we need big ones. And then I'm going to have this one going down the other way. And then have another one maybe up in here somewhere. Okay, there it is. So we're done. Ta-da! That is our card. So I showed a few techniques for today for a busy Tuesday. Oh, I guess we have to stamp the inside. I'll just stamp it after. Or, yeah. Okay, I'll stamp it. Usually I don't like to because it's your card. So here's our two. What a mess here. And this was my original, and then this is my after. So I hope you like that. Thanks for joining me today. And we'll see you again tomorrow. So have a great day and happy stamping.